Welcome back. Thanks for taking your time to join us on The Leg Up, our domestic thoroughbred weekly preview podcast. And welcome back to the usual suspects. Stephen Hunt, man barely standing. How'd you pull up from a cup week, boys? Pull up all right? Man barely standing?
Well, to be fair, they always put on a very, very good show down there over Cup Week, Christchurch, and once again, they didn't disappoint.
Good crowds and everything, wasn't it?
Great crowds, and they put a limit on them as well. They usually have a few more in there, don't they? And they just because of COVID lingering around, that sort of thing, they put a wee bit of a limit on. But boy,
maybe it's a tactic, just limit the crowd, creates a bit of scarcity, and everyone's flooding in.
Exactly.
Maybe well done to Tim Mills and Addington, and maybe they got onto something. But everyone looked like they're having a hell of a time down there, Steve. I mean, look at big days, particularly last Saturday.
It's one thing when you hear individuals make the trip down for the week or maybe even 1 or 2 days, they come back and say the catering's fantastic and they really put on a good show. And I heard that once again this time in, where a lot of Northerners have come back in the last few days after a long week and have suggested how well they put on a show up there or down there. So I've been there for Coupland's Day, haven't been there for Cup Day outside work.
No.
Desperate to make my way back down there in the coming years. But
been another guy that wouldn't mind getting down there is BP. You didn't have the pleasure either, Pops. They kept you up north as well. Good morning, or good afternoon to you, I should say.
Yeah, hey team. Look, it's it wasn't there this year, but it's if you're working, it's still pretty manic because it's a very tough day because it's under trying conditions because there's a lot of spectators around and there's a lot of noise, there's a lot happening around you, and as a punter, well, you've really got to be able to be there for the long haul and make sure that you can last the week if you get in there on Tuesday for New Zealand Trotting Cup Day and then Copeland's working your way to Ashburton for a bit of harness and then some Thursday night greyhounds at Addington with show day and then cap it off with Cup Day. It's a long go, and then you add the casino amongst the mix as well. It's a big old week. So, well done to those that have been able to survive it. And as you said, guys, I mean, they put on a show. The horses, the racing was outstanding. The crowds were there again. The numbers are up. All the betting figures were terrific. So, a successful week.
Yeah, and the punters cross code, don't they? The thoroughbred punters go to the standardbred meetings, Cup Week on the Tuesday, they get involved there, and vice versa. You see the standardbred connections, whether it's connections around the horses, the stable hands, the trainers, the owners, etc. They go to the thoroughbred meetings, and they really get involved. So there's a nice cross code over that 1 week. Yeah,
you're right. That's a good point, actually. Even the Dogs Thursday night, New Zealand Cup, you're at a loose end, you're off to Addington again, and you're right.
It's the only time where it works, though, isn't it? Where you get that opportunity to cross code, isn't it? Like Auckland, tried it, and unfortunately, it didn't quite work where it did sit, where they had all three running through March. This is the time where everybody gets involved, and they go and enjoy their individual code and have a few quiet ones and have a few bets. It really is the best week going around.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And it was again. And what about Saturday, Steve? Obviously Carmelass taking out the 1,000 guineas and Dragon Storm well backed in the New Zealand Cup. That was your bit of the day, man, barely standing, was it? You were trying to tell me before, Dragon Storm.
Sounds like it was just about everyone's best bet.
It seemed to be late, didn't it?
Boy,
Steve?
did it come in.
It came in late, Steve.
Yeah, I think an almost closed favourite. It wasn't in the office on Saturday. Had a trip up north, and came back this week, and I didn't miss any of the races on Saturday, even though I was out of the office. Carmelass, I think she was a deserved winner. There was the old question mark: how close Myth Tycoon Rhodes could have got to her if she had all favours down the straight, but. Carmelass, she was pretty solid. She had that overall betting profile with Jamie Richards and Opie Bosson and running second, a soliloquy, catching the line late. So there was no surprise that she did the business, even though she was in that third, fourth line of betting. Carmelass, it's 11 Group 1 winners in terms of Darcy Brahma and his progeny. So he's still kicking goals, even though he's getting on in age. And matchmaker, 26 into $7 from memory. Yeah, that was amazing. A huge go and a little bit surprising. I know it's Aussie owned, and the first move was over in Australia in terms of their agencies v the TAB, but that was a little bit unpredictable, and probably just as unpredicted was the drift on Tinker McPhee. who opened, I think, Saturday morning around that 260, 270 quote and almost doubled its price on the close. It ran about 4.8.
But yeah.
Don't forget Avanello.
Oh, there's another one they smoked, wasn't it?
That opened around the $4 mark, and they came.
They said, you've got this wrong.
We'll have that.
Yeah, exactly. Did they what? BP, you would have seen a Spider Maiden of the week somewhere for us as well. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, look, I'm going to go to Tuesday. The Northern meeting was held on Tuesday this week. Of course, so the ready to run sales are on Wednesday, Thursday. So there was 2 horses I did like there. I did like Needle and Thread, the foal to Savile Row, but we'll go with Secret of More, the horse that we had seen prior. And I think we mentioned a couple of podcasts ago around the Melbourne Cup Day maidens and those races that bounce out of Ellerslie, where you'll see horses go on and do the job. Well, so far we've seen that with that race, the Edit race. 2 horses have won out of that race on Tuesday, including this horse in Secret of More. Really good figures out of that race, and you wouldn't be surprised to see that horse win again with how easily she won on Tuesday.
Yeah, okay. Secret of More, and then these Pops has found another one of those good maidens to come to watch. This
we've already spoken about it, haven't we?
Yeah, we
these Premier Days, these maiden races, the stakes up, and a lot of astute stables know that they've got a decent horse coming through the grades. They target that 1 kill in terms of maiden class at a nice stake, and didn't get the bickies at Melbourne Cup Day, but they got well rewarded on Tuesday with that horse, and it's a progressive type.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Right, guys, let's move forward. Sorry if I'm a bit sluggish, man. Billy Stan, I just finished my lunch. Pasta, a lot of pasta.
Gee, yeah, that's a quick one.
I'm sure you'll burn it off later on today with a run.
Yeah, exactly.
Your daily run.
Someone saw me heating up my pasta in the microwave and said it was good carbo loading, good running fuel.
Carbo loading, yeah.
Carbo loading, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm good at that. Let's go to counties, guys. It's big day there. Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders, Dunstan Feed, Group 2 for the fillies and mares. Do we have any fillies? No, all mares. Race number 5, Steve, over the 1,400 metres. How's this market looking?
Yeah, strong betting race. So Sapira heads the market 370 in front of Media Sensation first up at $4.60. Jennifer Eccles, well backed in the first 24 hours of trading. Open 7 now trading 6.5. Supreme Height $7.50. Yearn, La Castelle $8 each of 2. Familiar $13. Shire Roses and Perina at 21 apiece, and Juicy Tiger at 41. But if there was a slight lead, it's around the third favourite, number 5, Jennifer Eccles.
Yeah, okay. Pops, we've got Median Sensation resuming. You've got a couple of very talented mares coming out of Group 1s, but haven't raced in a while. Which way are you looking here in the Thoroughbred Breeders?
Yeah, I'm looking towards those horses that are bouncing out of the Group 1s. I think Sapira, with how she went in the Tarzina, her run was one of the runs of the race, with how she flashed home to finish into second position behind Call Sign Mav. She was beaten 4 and a bit lengths and behind Melody Bell. Following that, they decided to freshen, have a spell, then go to the trials recently, and then get ready for a summer campaign. And obviously Jennifer Eccles is in that same sort of boat where things, even more so for her, didn't quite go to plan for her spring preparation. So they pulled stumps and decided to really concentrate on the summer campaign. So they are the two that stand out from what they've been able to do previously, and also bouncing out of Group 1 races. I think you've got to have massive respect around Media Sensation, though. Look, she's a horse who's trialled well. She's a horse who did run second in this race last year behind Yearn, also from last year as well in the Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders. You did have Lucas Steele, who ran 4th, who's in really good form as well, and now locally trained by Nigel Tiley. So it's hard to go probably past those top 6, to be honest, with Supreme Heights, who brings that rock-solid form that we've seen from her, of course, with the most recent victory in the Taranaki Breeders. And then, as I spoke about, Yearn, who's been good enough to be Group 1 place last season, won this race last year. But overall, guys, I am looking towards Sapira. I sort of keep coming back to her as my top selection in front of Jennifer Eccles. How did you see it, Stephen?
I think quite a tricky race to assess. Sapira 370, I think she's found her mark. I don't think she'll start below 350. I think it's a fairly competitive race, as BP's alluded to. Media Sensation went out favourite in this race last year. When they decide to lead on Media Sensation, I don't think they'll be playing those tactics this time in with Media Sensation. It's had 3 trials, and the stable have come out and said she's ready to go first up, and she does operate well in that profile first up, Media Sensation. And Opie Boston's always going to attract that money with the overall profile. So I wouldn't be surprised Sapira, Media Sensation, if there's not much between them on close. I know there's almost just under a point between them. Sapira 370 v Media Sensation 460, but look, Jennifer Eccles, we know and you've seen it Thaddeus and the
Yes,
risk manager
yes,
that's got a decent syndicate around it.
Yep.
I'm not saying we've got the price right, and maybe $7 is representing some value,
Yep.
but we've just got to take it on a little bit of face value in the first 2 days of trading, that the money does come for Jennifer Eccles and it does dry up on race day, knowing that the big syndicate like to get involved early.
Yeah, okay. Where do you line these? Well, how did you line up these horses sort of coming through the harbour to form I say wet trackers? It's probably a disservice to Supreme Heights in particular, who's flying. Are they a rung below, or how'd you look at them?
No, I think they're look. Supreme Heights is now suited at weight for age.
Yep.
Should be out handicapped in a race like this. So weight for age, the weight scale, she's well placed in this particular race, having a rating of 99, which is second best in the race. Look, it was advantageous to be on speed that day when she won at Harwater. But you look at the overall form, Mahaka, who was beaten in that particular race, has come out and won the Fielding Gold Cup. And also Cinerama, who was well beaten in that particular race, also has come out and run second in the Group 2 Tauranga Stakes. So the overall race stacks up, but she did have favours being advantageous on speed, Supreme Heights. I want to ask BP this question because we touched on it a few weeks ago around the Show of Roses. There's no real speed in this race outside Supreme Heights, but if you include Show of Roses to be one of the pace influences in the race, there might be just that more speed coming from the first maybe 400 metres, because Show of Roses, her best figures have been when she's run the first 2 in running, but of late they've snagged her back in the field.
Yeah.
But I think second up, they might try and ride her in a more positive fashion, and that might just generate a bit more speed, a little bit more pressure to Supreme Heights, who looks to, on paper, have it her own way. But Show of Roses, do you expect them to go forward here, BP, second up?
I think she's one of a couple of horses I've got going forward. The other one, Stephen, is actually, I thought, the 10 horse, and We Sweet Tiger. I think she's another horse that can look to go forward. We've seen her all through her early preparation where she was always up on tempo. Look, I know we haven't seen it. Look, she was where was she? Third in running in a pretty good race last time to the races out of Tarap, and even I'd like to run 2 back behind Familiar as well, where she was actually getting back and hitting the line. So maybe with her lower draw, she's a horse who can look to be positioned up. Look, you'd imagine so with Show of Roses. I mean, it is sticky. It is drawn out, so they're going to have to be on the get-go early with her. But as we pointed out last time, her best runs have been when she has been forward and running.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, Billy Standing, what are you sniffing about here in the thoroughbred breeders?
Well, if Jennifer Eccles is back to her best, that 650 does look fairly juicy.
Yes.
I'm guessing that they're probably going to try and ride her a little handier than midfield if they can. Similar to the ride that she had with J Mac on board in the 8 carat, and pull her out in the straight and just let her go. If she's up to I just want to ask Steve, actually, do you factor in to your pricing when there's a big betting syndicate behind a certain runner? Do you factor that in, thinking we're going to take some cash on this one? We might throw her in a roll under what we actually would normally do.
No, I take the betting side away from it and just see it as the horse and the jockey and the profile of winning that way and winning that race and the probability. I think that's more the trading side, the money that we would normally take for Jennifer Eccles. It's a discussion that we might have with the trading team, who's 2 completely different teams. We've got our pricing team and then our traders team, and then there's a discussion between the 2 teams around how Jennifer Eccles would be traded from when we opened on yesterday afternoon, knowing the fact that let's not overreact. We see money quite often for Jennifer Eccles in the first 24 hours of trading, and we've only gone in 1 turn here, but she's currently our biggest liability. But again, I think the money will be a nice even spread come Saturday afternoon.
These weight for age races, BP, they do potentially have a bit of a gap, and you mentioned that top 6. That's often how these weight for age fillies and mares races is, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, and it very hard to tip against sort of those outside of the top 6, isn't it? Look, probably a smaller field as well on history gone by on this particular race. I mean, this is still a strong race. I'm not saying it's weak or anything because of the numbers aren't there, but normally we've seen this being a 14, 15 horse field. But I think this is a race though that will hold up once again, and I think I'm looking towards Sapira over Jennifer Eccles. That's the way I'm seeing it at the moment. 1 over the 5. I have huge respect for the 4 Media Sensation, and just trying to work out how to place Supreme Heights into the mix, because I think at the same time, as much as she's been winning, she's still been underrated, and she won well last time with getting the right favours, and even leading into that race, was she a bit of a weak tracker? Well, I think she's showing that she's not, because that was a dead four track on that occasion. We haven't seen her on a good track. Yes, that is granted, but I still think she's in the right sort of form. When you get a mare in form like she is at the moment, they're very hard to get past. So, Superior for me, though, as my top selection.
Okay, you're Jennifer Eccles, man, Billy Standing. I take it.
Yes.
Happy with the each way there?
Yeah, I like the Quinella that Brendan just mentioned. Okay. Superior and Jennifer Eccles.
Yeah, okay. You're giving me the sensational swerve first up. Fair enough. Any notable gear changes that we need to know about, Steve, in the race?
Look, Superior's been served.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we know there's quite an often saying that mares can run better when served or in foal. I don't think the positive test has come back yet, but it's been served by US Navy flag, who stands at Valachi.
Sure.
It was a UK sprinter. I think won a Group 1 as a 2-year-old and also the July Cup as a 3-year-old. So it just brings
he did nothing
nice...
in Aussie, did he? Just from memory. Didn't he come down?
Yeah, I think he had
and...
1 or 2 starts in their
probably
spring
back of his career
a few seasons ago. But he's been a great addition because he just brings those sprinting genes to New Zealand. I think the dam might be out of a Galileo mare or whatnot, so it's got some blue blood around it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Jennifer Eccles best back at this stage. PUKEKOHE race 5, the Thoroughbred Breeders. Let's jump to race 7, guys. Counties Cup time. Franklin Auctions, Counties Cup Group 3, Steve.
Yeah, again, competitive races you normally see with these cup races. Sauvignon Blanc, $3.90 heads the market in front of Paisley Park at $6. In a twinkling, the stablemate of the fave at $7. Just Amaze Wellback Commodity $8.50. Ocean Billy, Stars are $9 each of 2. Pin Me Down at $9.50. Double figure lines around Swords Drawn has to come off the bench looking for scratchings at $10. Spring Delight also in that profile at $13. Polseth 15 with Yatima, and Grand Bouquet best of the rest at 18. But nice little push early doors around Just Amaze at 8.5.
Not unusual.
No, not unusual.
Okay, David Green Runner. Before we go to Pops on this one, I just want quite a tricky market to frame up here because there's a few question marks around all your favourites, really. I mean, Sauvignon Blanc was fractionally disappointing last time. Paisley Park finished outside the top 10, as did In a Twinkling. And they're our first 3 favourites. So how did you sort of approach this one?
Yeah, fairly tricky. There was a bit of discrepancy between the team here in the office. But I think the good thing is if we do get one wrong, we can massage our way out of it. I think there's a bit of depth in the race and there'll be money for at least half a dozen horses.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll be one-way traffic. And it has stifled betting just a touch, maybe the competitive nature of the race. But as I mentioned, Just Amaze is your best lead.
It's got a fat middle BP. They were about set between about 12 horses between $7 and $18 as far as I can see. So she'll be a tricky one to find the winner of.
Sounds a little bit like my cricket bat that I use. Look, I'm liking Paisley Park. I think Paisley Park's a horse that is a real up-and-comer in terms of its staying potential for the summer. I think this horse can peel off a good race. It could be on the weekend. If it's not, it's going to be another Cups race somewhere through the summer. Just never got a clean shot at them. I mean, you can just forget what happened in that race at Tadapa. Got back, just continued to check off heels, got squeezed down the straight. It was just one of those races you just wanted to forget very quickly if you were on Paisley Park. I love the way that he's come up this preparation. I think he's a horse that was super strong over 1,600 metres when chasing down Chevelle Promoteur once he was able to round his way up and get through his gears in that race. He's a Dunstan winner. He ran 5th in an Avondale Cup. I really do like his chances on the weekend. I think there's a lot to like about him in this race at that $6, but there is a few you can talk about. The other horse I want to have a bet on at the price is Pin Me Down, and that being runner number 8. Now, I was pretty strong on her running a big race in the Karaka Classic, and she was unlucky once again in that race. She didn't get all the favours she was looking for. They have Matt Cameron's services for the weekend, and I think going off her form over ground, she won a Sunline Vase as a 3-year-old filly. She was good enough to run an unlucky 5th in the City of Auckland Cup earlier this year. In the City of Auckland Cup. So I think she's a horse that I'm happy to have something on at that $10 mark as well. But a bit to play around with. I don't know what you do within a twinkling. He won the race last year. but he's so in and out. He's just hard. It's a hard horse to have a bet on, who's run last and beaten 14 lengths last time to the races when there was money for the horse as well. It's just too hard to tip, but he could win it, and you just stand up and say, well, congrats. But I can't have anything on him at the moment.
No, yeah, he's even Opie's not saving him at the moment. He could turn it around, of course. Man, Billy Standing, this is your sort of race, because I mean, you could have a dabble at sort of 12 here, and any one of number at 12 or 13 horses, and you wouldn't look completely stupid. You could make a case for it. So this is a chance for you to,
Yeah, well, as you said, the top three in the market all had disappointing runs last time out.
Yeah.
And maybe it's good for them. They've got them out of the way, and they're going to go an absolute boomer on Saturday.
Yep.
But I'll look elsewhere. I don't mind the look of Ocean Billy, trained by Bill Pomare, or as they say in the Champagne region of France, Pomare. He beat Robusto twice over 2,100 metres, who then, of course, went on to win the Te Awamutu Cup and the Metropolitan down in Riccarton.
Is that the Livermore you ran 7th in, Man Billy Standing? Was it?
Certainly was.
Yeah, okay.
Not far off them.
No, well, exactly.
So the SP is a touch mislead, isn't it? It's saying $50 next to its name, but that was weight for age in a race that was dominated by Avantage and Melody Bell in terms of probability.
Okay. Yeah, Ocean Billy. So, not bad. What's that paying? Do you know, roughly?
$9.
$9.
Oh, okay.
And if you really want to
I do
have a swing at things, I'll have another stab at Paul's Heath.
You didn't mind it last time, did you?
No, I didn't, but didn't do a lot, to be fair. But did win the Avondale Cup in a field that featured Platinum Invader, Paisley Park, Dragon Storm, who of course has now gone on to win the New Zealand Cup,
sure,
and Cotsett Hall, and warmed up nicely in a trial at Ellerslie behind, I think it was Media Sensation.
Okay. You're putting the hours in, aren't you? For the form analysis.
I always have.
As long as you've still got time for golf and lunch.
Yeah. You're just starting to flourish under my tutelage.
And the donuts.
And the donuts, exactly. What about Sauvignon Blanc, Steve? I mean, what did we make of the last up run? 6th.
Yeah, Jamie just freshened it up heading to Trentham. It won well over Hawke's Bay Carnival on day 2 from memory at 1,600 metres. And then he went, right, I'm just going to freshen it up, keep it at 16. They went away from the Couplands Mile. They headed towards the Thompson Handicap at Trentham. And on the eye, she was a bit disappointing. She got back. There was an off track, so there was a couple of variables to play against her, but she was well and truly beaten as I think she closed second favourite on that occasion, Sauvignon Blanc. So maybe she was already wanting the 1.25 miles.
Yeah.
They've gone to 2,100 metres here, so I don't want to knock her completely, and she deserves her favouritism tag at 390. And again, Danielle Johnson, Jamie Richards, it's a betting profile, the space that punters want to be backing into. But my interesting run is Just Amaze.
Yeah.
Now, I've already mentioned the monies for it, as we tend to see during the working week for David Green's horses. But this time last year, it was sitting in the first 2 and won a rating 84 on this particular day last year over 2,500 metres. And then its next start, it led all the way with Sam Spratt doing the riding in the Waikato Gold Cup. I think they'll change tactics here. I think they'll send enough money to suggest that they'll look to go forward and they could potentially lead. We've had 3 runs in now, Just Amaze, and it's all been over 1,600 metres. They've gone back. The money might be an indication of a tactical change around this horse. Okay. And we saw it run its best races and figures when it's gone on speed. And there might be one horse to say, hey, I'm going to try and outstay us. I'm proven at that distance and beyond. And have those similar tactics that showed when it was in form this time last year.
Okay.
That was a big win at Counties over the 1.5 miles, where it was in a bit of a speed battle and still managed to pull away in the straight. It was very impressive.
I think we've got the makings of a reasonable box trifecta here. Paisley Park, Pin Me Down, Poles Heath, Ocean Billy, and Just Amaze. Leave the favourite out. Ooh, it'll Bolton now, isn't it?
I visited Ballymore Stud or Ballymore from memory, what was it, Tuesday? Yeah. And had a chat with Pam, and she said she's obviously got Pin Me Down in the race.
Oh, no, you're not going to start telling me On the Rocks.
Well, she said On the Rocks has turned the corner. They can see it in his eye. Look, this might not be the race that profiles back to the winning circle, knowing that it has to carry 60. And we've seen that over the years. You've got to be somewhere in that middle to to bottom weight to be successful in these cup races. But I don't think they'll be looking to put him in the race and sit him in the first 1 or 2 in running, which they have in its 2 previous starts. I think when he's best ridden, it's off speed, come to the widest, no horses around, and finish off late. So on the rocks, I wouldn't be surprised if that can run above its SP, which it's currently at 26.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, it looked like it was going to do something last time. Well, it did. It wasn't a bad run, was it? It almost looked back.
Yeah, I just don't think it's its comfort zone, being on speed, and it was leading with 300 to go, and it still boxed on well, and it was only second up or third up on that occasion. So it's profiling to hit some of its old ratings. And we know it's a Group 1 performer and it deserves its top weight. But yeah, as I mentioned, I think it will run against betting expectations. Okay, $26 on the rocks, former Group 1 winner. Top 4, please, Pops. You got Paisley Park on top.
Yeah, I'll go Paisley Park. I really like Pin Me Down's chances on the each way, so we'll mark her as my second selection. After that, I do like Just Amaze. I think Just Amaze is a great chance of turning around that form, and also because we know the horse once getting up over this distance and around this time last year, as we spoke about the Waikato Cup winner, and then I'll have to have Savion Blanc in there. The horse did run second in the City of Auckland Cup last season. Will be better getting over ground now. So yeah, we'll go 6, 8, 5, and 4.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if Savion Blanc had come out and run an unlucky second or last time, when we take that run away, it could be a $2.80 chance, Steve. To be fair, couldn't it? On what we saw prior. Yeah,
and I think there's a couple of reasons why you're getting an okay price. I think again, I can't see it shortening below 3.5. I can see it holding between 4 and 450. I know it's trading at 390 at the moment, but there is a couple of variables against it. It maps to get back from barrier 13. And we've all mentioned at least 5 or 6 different horses that we want to include in our betting tickets. So no, good race. Race.
Yeah, it is a good race. Ocean Billy, Paul, for you?
Ocean Billy, yes.
Yep, okay. We'll take it in 1 there. Counties Bowl time, guys. Race number 8 on the card. The Hawanui Farm Counties Bowl. And we've got a pretty slick customer on top here, Stephen.
Yeah, the unbeaten Only in Jakarta, who has come into the final field market with the scratching of Endless Drama. So it's in the field at present come Thursday afternoon. 420 into 380, best lead. Levante at $4.20, second favourite. Summer Passage, fluctuating between $5.50 and $6.50, now trading 6. Dawn Patrol, $8.50. Double figures around Julius at 10. Melt, also at that $10 price. It's Destiny's Child and Pretty to See and Short Views, $18 each of 3. Best of the rest is Just a Canter at 21, but a really strong field with a number of these horses looking to target the railway in about, 6 weeks' time.
Yeah, absolutely. BP Counties Bowl, always a good race. There's no exception.
This is a serious race. Wow. I mean, when you've got a horse like Only in Jakarta who has looked super good coming through the grades and was up against it for the very first time in the open grade and was able to win like she did, she's going to have to step it up again, though, because this is a true sprinting field with a Group 1 winner at the top of the book in Julius. And also you've got a horse like Summer Passage who was a Group 1 winner as a 2-year-old. Levante, you'd almost have to say the forgotten horse in New Zealand racing, Levante. Like we've started this spring and possibly has been forgotten about with what this horse was able to do last season, with one of the most incredible runs you'll find in a beaten effort when finishing second last time out in the Wellington Guineas. And prior to that, just the horse was absolutely airborne. And again, probably should be 5 from 5, really, with what happened at that Wellington Guineas. I know they've had a few little issues with the horse getting to through this preparation, getting ready, but she looked really forward and ready at the trials. I find the gate awkward. They're going to have to go really hard up front. Where does she end up in the run? Look, there's a lot of question marks next to her. I don't question her ability and I don't question her talent because I think she's got it in spades, Levante. I still unsure about how to go about this race, though, because do we go with Only in Jakarta, who is the up-and-comer, the speed freak that she is, or do you go with a horse like Summer Passage, who has come back, has returned off the back of a really good win first up? He's gone on with the job since then. He's been there and he's been there and he's done it, sort of thing. Or do you go with a horse like It's Destiny's Child, who won it last year, or She's All Mine? Or do you even go to Dawn Patrol or a Julia? So it is a real intriguing race. I keep coming back to Only in Jakarta and Summer Passage, and I still don't know which way I'm going to split it yet between those two. But I don't know about you, Stephen, but what do you make of this race?
I think the bet is only in Jakarta purely on the map.
Yeah.
Purely Levante and Summer Passage have drawn 13, 12 respectively. And
Pops mentioned that.
I'm just concerned where they situate. If Summer Passage had drawn a decent alley, I would have been very keen on him. He ran the second fastest last 600 of the day at Matamata. The fastest last 600 was recorded by Tinker McPhee, and you had the likes of Not an Option, Syracuse running in the undercard on that day. So there was really strong horses going around at Matamata on that particular meeting. So, I think the bet is only in Jakarta purely on the map. I think she can come across from barrier 9. The only other leader in this race from my map is Madam Haas, who's drawn the ace, but she's unlikely to get a start. She'll need a couple more scratchings prior to Saturday morning. So I think only Jakarta with a natural speed and Danielle Johnson, I think we'll try and come out from barrier 9 and cross them and find the rail. And that's the way I'm leaning towards in terms of a betting proposition. And the money's there. She's had the one run under her belt where Levante, will she benefit with this run under her belt? And maybe 1400 is her best trip, even though she's right in commission in a railway in 6 weeks' time. And in Summer Passage, I just wish it drawn a gate. I know the horse is flying, and figures suggested that at Matamata first up. Yeah,
absolutely. What do you think, man, Barely Standing? This doesn't look too much easier than the Cup. You got the up-and-comers down there, but you going long, or you going to go with the up-and-coming 2 down the bottom there?
Yeah, no, I like the look of only in Jakarta. Yeah. I agree. I think Danielle is going to get across quite easily, dictate terms, and then just run away from them in the straight.
Handlebars down.
I think that's what's going to happen. But I'd like to see Levante, obviously very, very classy.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have seen a start before this. So, yeah, as Brendan said, that run in the Wellington Guineas
fell out of the gate.
Well, missed the start by 5 lengths.
Yeah, right.
And then found trouble in the straight. Just ridiculous. But for this, it's only in Jakarta and Danielle Johnson.
Okay. Melt was better last time, Stephen?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
she was. Just a bit worried about the track conditions come Saturday afternoon.
Right.
I think she needs it no better than a dead 5. What was it? It was around about a dead 5, dead 6, dead 5. I think that's probably her limit. Any firmer, and she feels her feet. So that's the concern, and being at the back end of the program, what we're race 8 of a 9-race card. If it comes up a dead 4 on the morning, you can assure me it's going to be a good track come later on in the afternoon. So that's the only concern around Melt, but it is great to see her back.
Yeah, it was a good one last time.
And she's on her home track, which has to be a positive. And she does run map to get a gun run, maybe 4th, 5th on the outer.
I liked It's Destiny's Child. Pops, you mentioned it in your preview. Down on 53 kg, and the defending champ, second up into this, drops 7 kilograms off its last run, although it wasn't the flashiest resuming run. I gave it some sort of chance out at $18.
Yeah, I think she's just one of those underrated stayers that sort of just bubbles underneath, the probably the top 6 or 7 sprinters that we do have in the country. And she's proven that she's more than capable in that better grade with what she was able to do on Karaka Million Night, for instance, and how she won this race last year. She will be better for that run under her belt, and she's been able to be a second-up winner. Look, one other horse we haven't mentioned is Dawn Patrol, who has actually turned up this season and has got the business done. He has got himself a good barrier draw. Now, yes, he does have to come back from 1,400 metres of his last couple of victories back to 1,100 metres. He has shown his versatility, though, this horse, Dawn Patrol. He is one runner from a low gate where I'm sure they'll be looking to punch him forward. And I'm not going to give up on She's All Mine either, who was being
had to get it
in the basic counties. I've got her in my numbers. I'm not giving up. Great to see Billy Pinn back in the winners' enclosure as well for Dan Miller. Very well-found Castani winning on Tuesday as well. So, very good at the trials and was able to get the job done for Billy Pinn and Daniel Miller. And I think this horse can run a race as well in my top 4.
Yeah. Okay, what is that top 4, mate? Let's summarise for us if you can.
We'll take a box Quinella at my top 2, between the 10 and the 15 and the 10. I still think if the races run right, Summer Passes can still get the right track over the top of them. I mean, it's going to be very hard to be able to try and sprint over the top of only in Jakarta, but I still believe that he's in the right vein of form where if he can track into it and get the right run, he can still win this race and overcome his barrier draw. So 15, 10, 10, 15. Then I'm going to go with She's All Mine. I'm going to pop her into 3rd, actually, in She's All Mine. And then outside of that, where did I look after that? Oh, Levante. I think you.
Yeah.
I want Levante in my numbers.
Leave out, isn't it?
I just find it desperately hard with where she's going to end up from her barrier draw. But I just think she's that good. She can still run into the top 4. Super race, really is. Can't wait for this. And it's the start of our summer, isn't it? This is where it all kicks off. Our big races start here on the weekend at Counties as we look forward to, of course, our Christmas and New Year racing at LSE.
We sort of take over from Aussie now, Steve, don't we? In a way, though, Aussie sort of finished up with Sandown, and it's our time to shine, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've already talked about the railway. This is a huge angle towards the railway. We're looking for that second favourite in futures betting. We'll touch on those futures markets
and of course
later
the
on the
favourite
podcast.
Is
Avantage at 3.5. She picks
yep.
herself, and all indications she will be there, and also to defend her crown at Trentham and a few weeks later. But yeah, there's looking for that genuine second favourite. Only in Jakarta sits in that second line at $10. So there's a real chance for a horse to stand up here.
Yeah.
Set weights and penalties will be a step up, and it'll be difficult to beat Avantage. But as I say, there's a spot there for the taking.
What do we think about Julius, boys? Just the weight or second up?
Yeah, he's better suited at set weights and penalties or weight for age, which we know the railway is at set weights and penalties. And 15, barrier 15, it makes it very tricky for him. And I think he made his comeback in this race last year after about a 2-year absence.
Ran 4th, didn't he? Really ran 4th?
Yeah, it was a really game run, and there was some money for him. There's not
no
a drop
money.
for him here. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he touched $21 come Saturday afternoon and double his current price.
Cheaper, okay. So we're saying, we're out seeing a bean for it, are we? And he's a horse that is well supported if they think the connections think he's right, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think overall market will be at the pointy end of the market. You'll see the continuation of money around the favourite only in Jakarta. Levante's been well supported, so there is money for her, even though she's first up, which is a key guide if you're yet to invest. And Summer Passage is already taking good investment after doing the business in a lower grade race. You're
on only in Jakarta, Paul? That you're with it?
Yeah, I think Danielle will do the job for us.
Yeah. Well, she's a safe bet now, isn't she? Because the horse is going to go forward and get itself out of trouble
and then decide, what do I do from here?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, 1,100 metres.
It's quite a tight turning track, Pukekohe. I know it's one of the longest straights in the country, and normally you associate, long straight, plenty of chances to come from back in the field, but it is a tight turn around that track, and the leaders can kick on a decent surface.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they skip off the corner there, they can, can't they? Yeah, okay. Only in Jakarta, the boys with. Don't leave out Summer Passage in this year's Counties Bowl. We want to have a look at one race, guys, at Awapuni, because there's a big day down there. And the main race is race number 4 on the card, the John Turkington Limited. Used to play cricket with John Turkington back in the day.
Batsman, bowler?
Don't say all-rounder.
No.
I'm not asking what you were. I'm asking
what bowling all-rounder. Oh, no, sorry, him. He bowled some horrible off-spin. Yeah, it was not at a high level, Stephen.
Okay.
John Turkington Limited, Waipine Bulls Country Cup. We've got a unlucky favourite here almost. I was on Hypnos that day, the Copeland's Bakery's mile winner.
The form's been franked, hasn't it? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, our favourite.
And we talk about Rock On Wood, who posted $2 yesterday. Well, that's truly gone now in the red at $1.90 in front of Time's Ticking, who's in a really good purple patch of form at $4.60. Shares that price with Weaponry. Shadows Cast $8.50. Double figures and a decent gap, the Bandito at 31 with King Cougar and also Abbey Road. So there's 4 horses in single figures, but clear lead, and looks to be the best bat runner on both meetings thus far come Thursday afternoon is Rock On Wood.
To be hard to get off this, Pops, wouldn't it, off what we saw?
Yes, it would be. I mean, next stride he wins, doesn't he? And he's a horse who gets his prep up and running with a spring sprint. You spoke about Hypnos, the form there, and that horse going on to win the Copelands. I mean, he was so unlucky last season as well. To think that he didn't pull off a Group 1 is quite hard to believe, isn't it, really? I mean, his Thorndon Mile run, it's a tough watch if you're watching him. His Herbie Dyke effort as well. He just hasn't had the rub of the green in our feature races. He's not that far off them. He's not far off our better horses in the country as Rock On Wood. So, look, despite him having to carry 61.5 kilos, I mean, it's his race, isn't it? And I'm sure the $1.90 is going to be played through a number of multis, and I'm sure there'll be some more big singular bets coming your way with Rock on Wood.
If we're going to put up $1.90, there will be. Sure, yeah. It looks like $1.70 shot to me, BP.
Yeah, you can't tip against him, can you? The only way you can is if you can say he gets into bad luck again. But what can be a big danger to him? Well, look, Time's Ticking's been racing well. Weaponry, Shadows Cast. I mean, Shadows Cast is the Group 1 horse in the race. If you want to talk about Group 1 form, well, he is it. It's just a matter of how you take his form through the Hawke's Bay Carnival, really, with Shadows Cast. He gets weight relief. He gets down to 58 kilograms. He gets to a venue that he knows how to win at. And, of course, it's his home track. So there are all factors to say that he can be a chance. But to be honest with you, with the up-and-comer young gun, I say young gun, he is a 6-year-old, is Rock on Wood. But, look, he's only had the 15 starts. And, yeah, can it be this season that he gets a Group 1?
Yeah, absolutely it can, man. Barely standing. Are there any dangers here? Time's Ticking's a improved galloper.
Shadows Cast is the one on
okay.
with that weight relief, the 4 kilos off, as BP said, won the Thorndon Mile, second behind Windspell and the Captain Cook last year. I know the form over the Hawke's Bay Carnival was disappointing.
Yeah, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah, but I think back here, I like it at the price. What is it? $8, $8.50?
Yeah, $8.50.
At the price, I'm willing to have a little stab.
Do they have it? What's the map look like here, Steve? Do you know? I mean, he's sort of been best when he's up a while, but they haven't been sort of up on the speed, but they haven't really been there for a while with Shadows Cast.
No, look, Weaponry will probably go forward from barrier 4. I think Rock on Wood, the positive there that it hasn't drawn an inside marble, so it should be on the outer, if not 3 back, 4 back, and what is a small field. And it'll be intriguing to see where Shadows Cast lines up in the map. He's gone his best races probably when he's gone forward, but yeah, it's a tricky one. Small field with not too much speed in the race. As I mentioned, Weaponry from barrier 4 might be your default leader. But this Rock on Wood money, it's been well backed, as we always mention during the working week. But I can see below $1.70 on the close. Yeah, below $1.70 on Rock on Wood. Okay. I would have wanted to see a little bit more money around Times Ticking and Weaponry. I know Weaponry comes out of a betting stable, but just the overall profile in terms of where the money's going to be landing, I think Rock on Wood will take close to 90% of total turnover.
Geez, okay. I mean, he loves swooping down the outside there at Alpuni too, doesn't he? He's had 4 wins there.
Yeah, and this is almost a semi-final towards the Captain Cook. I'm sure they'll go there in 3 weeks' time and try and get that elusive Group 1 victory around Rock on Wood. Look, it'll be a good field. Concert Hall, I think, is heading there. We'll stay at the mile.
Good.
And also Hypnos, who we all know bet at last start and has since won a Coupland's Mile. So they're just 3 or 4 horses that are looking towards Trentham. So hopefully they can do the job here and push on towards the Group 1.
What do you make of Times Ticking, Steve? I mean, underrated maybe. I mean, it's probably stepped up to open handicap and I beat my London banker at Hastings that day from memory.
I think its best opportunity to beat Rock on Wood would have been on a rain-affected track.
Right.
It won't get that on Saturday at Alpuni. Its best figures have been on those slow 7, slow 8 track conditions, but it's a horse in form, and I'm not surprised Albie's had a crack in this particular race. Yeah. The stakes is okay, just a tad over 30,000, but I'm sure they're looking to step that horse up to potential group class in the next 1 or 2 starts. But it's come up against Rock on Wood, who you'd have to say is one of the better gallopers in the country. So it's going to be a tough challenge on a decent surface. Yeah.
We probably don't have to say much more, do we, Pops? Got it in 1 here.
I think so. And the best way to use them is to use leverage off Rock on Wood onto whatever you like throughout the day. So it gives it a bit of a boost.
I love it. Yeah, nice little boost to the betting multiples. Man barely standing. You can have a little bit of each way on Shadows Cast. Am I right?
Yeah, well, if you guys are right and Rock on Wood is going to come in, then I'd wait for tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah,
and
got a couple of tacticians here. Hang on.
You'll get double figures on Shadows Cast.
I like it. Okay, we're thinking well.
Paul, can I maybe suggest for punters, if they're going to back Shadows Cast, to look towards the Winsurance maybe as a possible way?
Oh, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, okay. Refund at 2nd and 3rd Shadows Cast as he scrolls to his
what price?
Thing. $5, and if it runs 2nd or 3rd, you get your money back in a 7-horse field. Not a bad way to go.
And If the price drifts out to $10,
we might
$11,
get
then
5 or 50 or
might
6.
556.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, Pop's coming to the party there. That's good insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, boys. That's probably enough for today, but we can't let anyone get away without a bet of the day. Man barely standing. Can you go back to back? I'm saying no.
I think if you remember, I have been back to back with
really?
Agon the week before. So
shut up then.
we're looking to go back to back, two back.
Okay, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
my apologies. What do you got?
Oh, I'm all over Danielle. Only in Jakarta, please.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, a great field.
Yeah, nice field. Yeah.
But I'm hoping that, I think Danielle will control this race. And
won't give anyone else a looking.
Nope.
Yeah, okay. BP, what about you, mate? What can we put our hard-earned on Saturday afternoon?
I chopped and changed a little bit here, but I'm going to go with Mai Tai in the last race at Awapuni, going to 1,400 metres. A horse who was beaten at Counties last time, just when there was a massive torrential downpour, and was a runner that still was able to run very good sectionals, was the second best in the race and behind Arriva Ducci for the last 6, 4 and 2. I still thought it was a very good run from her, and now that she's going to 1,400 metres, Sticky Gate is probably the only thing we're worried about there, but I think the horse is around the 360 mark in the last race at Awapuni.
Okay, Mai Tai. Yeah, it was plenty. You didn't mind that last time either, Steve, did you, Mai Tai?
Yeah, it was a hard horse to place next start. I think you can play the forgive card. It poured down just prior to the race, as BP mentioned. So, and I think got beaten by a pretty smart horse, Arriva Ducci, who is one of many good horses in the undercard at Counties, looking to get a start on the bench. There's plenty of horses that are looking to get a start through scratchings, etc. But I think it's unlikely Arriva Ducci is going to get that, because I think it's E4, E5 from memory. But it's a great undercard. Yeah. The likes of, who have we got? We've got the 2 rating 74 races, the mile and the 1,400 metre race, the 1,600 metre race, Aromatic, Chasu Bao, Rhaegar, and also Angaria, who was well found at Te Rapa.
Oh, is it Sanders run? No, yes.
Yep.
Sanders
and
run,
the 1,400 metres, you got Packing Rockstar versus Super Strike, and also Lamentus, who's 1-2 on the bounce. So there's a really nice, strong undercard at Counties. But
okay, we'll give us a winner.
Another horse to mention in that, Stephen, while you were talking about that race, Mon Lula is another horse I really like as well. I think does get an off the bench in that race. The rating 74. 1,600. Baden Booge is in that race as well. He was very good a couple of weeks ago as well. Jacob Mackay. Sort of mentioned him.
Yeah. Thanks for dropping that in. Another successor in BP. Mon Lula. Okay. Do we know much about that, Steve? Is that in the field?
It is in the field. Right. I don't have the price on me, but
$10.
Oh, worth a bit of each way.
I think it's a horse that's really going to relish 2,000 plus.
Right.
We saw a ripping run from it out of the Derby last year as a 3-year-old, and it took a couple of starts to get back to the winning circle. But it's that stable we touch on quite often on the podcast that punters love to be with it. So might be a distance short of its best. That's the only negative.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely a horse to follow. Maybe a Cups horse post Christmas.
Well, speaking of derbies, we've got futures out, haven't we, for a number of those Auckland fixtures, haven't we?
We do. The Sistema Railway, the City of Auckland Cup, the Auckland Cup, and also the Derby, which came out this morning. Agon, Bourbonnier, 550 each of 2. So we're linking the 2,000 guineas form line, which you kind of have to at this time of the year.
You can't really not.
No, there isn't. Brando at $10, Jason Beltry, 14, Marine, who placed in the guineas at 14. But I'm sure there's a few of these horses that will be making their debut or lightly raced in the next week or two. You'll see plenty of movement around that middle to end market in the Derby.
Yeah, okay. We'll get next week. We'll get Pops to give us a few long range Derby selections, maybe that we can keep an eye on. Even you, man, Billy Standing, please feel free.
Speaking of Pops, I know he loves a promotion or two.
Yeah, I was going to get to your promotions.
We've got one on Saturday.
Yep. Have we stopped finished the racing promotions yet, or?
No, this is a racing promotion. Ascot 2 up. Place a fixed odds win bet on races 1 to 6 at Ascot this Saturday.
You're talking about
West Australia. We're going to heading west.
Okay,
we're heading west.
Pikey's not out of quarantine yet, but anyway, carry on.
Well, he's on the favourite in the railway.
You better hurry up.
Well, he better hurry up. Yes, he better.
Right. Yep.
And get paid out as a winner, up to $100 as a bonus bet if your horse runs second. So now there's definitely something that Brendan can sink his teeth into. The first 6 races at Ascot this Saturday, place a fixed odds win bet, and get paid out as a winner, up to $100 as a bonus bet if
he
your
runs
runner
second.
runs second.
Yeah, okay. Do you venture that far west, Pops?
Yes, I do. Yep.
It will be this Saturday.
Yeah, no, definitely love betting out there. And of course, it is the Railway Stakes,
Yes.
the feature
Right.
there. And it was 9 years ago
Don't
when
talk
He's
about
Remarkable
it. Don't
was
talk about
relegated.
it.
Yeah, and of course, we're just talking about Montlula, who was by He's Remarkable as well. So, yes,
Lucky
one of
Craig.
I suppose one of the tough ones to swallow, wasn't it, really, that relegation around He's Remarkable in the Railway Stakes in 2011.
Talk about underarm bowling. Fair dinkum.
That was a
Well,
shock.
what about this Devotion in Motion, BP?
Oh.
3 starts, 2 wins, still a maiden.
Yeah, and probably a little unlucky to lose that race, I thought, on Saturday as well.
Coin toss,
yeah.
I had it as. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. I mean, yes, there was a little bit of movement from the outside horse initially, but gee, I thought there was still enough there to say that the Devotion in Motion. I thought it was both ways. I thought there was
It was a
enough
bit
both
of
ways.
a It was.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it
Competitive
would have
racing
gone
and-
either way, but
It's hard to be confident around these inquiries at present, but anyway.
story for another day.
Wow.
Story for another day. Did you have a bit of the day, Steve, before we go?
I was pretty keen only in Jakarta. I don't know if that's a
Oh,
bad or
okay.
good thing to agree
no.
with.
She lining up with man
Paul,
barely
but,
standing.
just purely on the map.
Yeah.
I think it can get its own way in front, even though there's normally pressure over an open class sprint race. But I think its biggest rivals and second or third line of betting just got sticky gates, just not sure where they're going to be in running. And one of them's first up will be an improve, even though the money's on. So I'm pretty keen on only in Jakarta to go 5 from 5.
Okay, 3.8 for the boys. We multi that onto Rock on Wood.
Oof.
Everything onto Rock on Wood. And the Bulls Cup there. Okay, guys, thank you very much. BP, where are you? We working Saturday, no doubt. We're in the studio.
Yep, in the studio Saturday. So we'll be controlling it from Hamilton, and what a day! I mean, we've just spoken about the feature races, but there's a lot to really look forward to there with those undercard races. The 2-year-old feature as well is an important race with horses looking towards quite plenty of good racing to look forward to.
Yeah, 100% echo those comments. Thanks, boys. Thanks, Stephen.
Cheers, that is.
Yeah, very, very good. Thanks, Paul. Good form analysis today from you, mate.
Cheers.
You're coming along.
Hey, coming from you. That's huge.
High praise indeed. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your company as well, and we'll catch you in 7 days' time on the Leg Up.